Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to turn NotebookLM into a subscription product that you can deliver to a customer. You want to give your customer access to information that you might deliver to them in another format. So to do that, we're going to add at least one document to the notebook that's going to be a Google Doc. We're going to have that doc in our drive, and we're going to be able to update that document and put it inside of our NotebookLM notebook. So that document is going to be an update document. You don't have to call it an update document, but that's basically what it's going to be. And it's going to be proprietary because we're going to update it every month that we charge a subscription for access to the notebook. At the end of every month, you're going to go into that document that you have added to your NotebookLM notebook and you're going to update it. We're just updating the document in this way. You don't have to use Gemini in order to update your document, but you are going to be providing additional value through this document. And this document is what is proprietary. What remains secret to the customer is what you're going to be adding. And you will be retaining control of the shared notebook. So what that means is that on a monthly basis, you can go into this document. You're going to see here that we can now sync this document with Google Drive with our update. So every month we're going to sync the update and we're going to add additional value to the notebook that our customer has access to. We're going to click sync and then the customer will then get the update on a monthly basis. We're going to share access to this document. Access is going to be restricted and it's going to be restricted to the individuals to whom we sell access to the notebook. We're going to give that individual viewer access and we're then going to send access to the document. We're going to deliver the experience to the customer through a Gemini Gem. And to set up the gem, what we're first going to do is we're going to attach the notebook that we are going to be sending. And we're going to ask Gemini to write the instructions for us. We're going to use a structured prompt in order to do that. You can adapt this prompt however you wish. What we're going to get Gemini to do is to write instructions for a Gemini Gem. And we want to write the instructions for the notebook to be attached and to use the guided learning tool inside of the gem. What we're now going to do is we're going to place this prompt inside of Gemini. And since our notebook is attached, we're going to paste in the prompt. We're going to use a pro query. We're then going to click submit. Gemini has then given us the instructions. What we're going to do with these instructions, we're going to copy them to a Google Doc. So we're going to export them to a Google Doc. So we now have our structured prompt. We're just going to copy all of this and we're going to head to a new Gemini Gem. We're going to go to the Gems area. We're then going to go down to the Gem Manager and create a new gem. We're going to paste in the instructions from Gemini. Now you want to make sure to get out all of the information. For example, we have the gem name, which we're going to copy and cut out and put in the gem name area. The last thing you're going to do when you create the gem is going to be to set the tool. You will then set the tool for guided learning. Now, guided learning is going to give them an experience where they're going to have to answer questions in order to make sure they master the content before they can move on to the next subject. What we are doing in giving them a guided learning experience is we are giving them a step-by-step process to master the content inside of our NotebookLM notebook instead of just giving them a chat experience. However, you'll notice though that what we have not done is we have not attached the NotebookLM notebook, and there is a reason for that. We're going to save this notebook. We're then going to click Start Chat. That's going to open up the notebook for us. Now, in order to demonstrate the issue, is we're going to go back to the Gems area. And what you'll notice then is that we have a share link. So we're going to be able to share this link with our customer. If we had attached the NotebookLM notebook to the gem, we're going to go inside of this notebook. You'll notice that for every gem that has a NotebookLM notebook attached, it's not going to be shareable. So these two notebooks that are not shareable both have NotebookLM notebooks attached. So we cannot attach a NotebookLM notebook if we're going to share the gem. So what we're now going to do is we're going to share the gem. We're going to share it with a specific individual. When we share the gem, what we're going to do is we're going to make that individual an editor. And you want to write in any instructions that you want them to have. This is a good time to remind them that the process will work when they attach the NotebookLM notebook that you are sharing with them to the gem when they get access to it. Now that we have made this individual an editor to this gem, we can now click Send. We are now going to go back into the Share button. What we're now going to do is we're going to click on this Editing tab, and what we're going to do is we're going to transfer ownership of the gem to the individual that we have shared with. So what we're doing is we're giving up access to the gem. We have given the individual our instructions in order to get the gem started. However, the individual now has everything they need in order to utilize our updated notebook. So we're going to transfer ownership. We're then going to send the invitation to transfer the ownership. We are then going to click Done. The individual will then need to accept ownership of the gem that you just created. They will then be the owner of the gem. When the individual becomes the owner of the notebook, if they go inside of that notebook and they want to add in the NotebookLM notebook, you will see that they will not be able to do it. There will not be a place for them to add the file. You will need to give them instructions. And so the instructions need to include the fact that what they're going to need to do with the gem that you have just given them ownership to is to click on the ellipsis to then make a copy. They'll then see the instructions that you have. What they will then see is that guided learning will then be in place. What they will then do is they will then add in the NotebookLM notebook that you have shared with them, and you click Add. They can then make the title to be what they want it to be. So what they now have are our instructions. They now have the notebooks that we are sharing with them. They will then click Save to have the new notebook. They will then start the chat with the new notebook. So then what the individual will then be able to do is then to type in where they want to start first. We can always come back and add more information to this notebook. There will always be at least one element that requires us to update every month that the customer does not have access to until we update it. And so you will want to be adding proprietary things on a regular basis. You can certainly add in studio assets, but where the customer is going to derive the most value by using the guided learning inside of the gem is your updates. And so anything that you can add that you can update on a regular basis from Google Drive, such as a Google Doc, Google Slides, or Google Sheets, will automatically update inside of the notebook. And whenever you make changes to the document, in this case, we're just going to make a minor change to demonstrate the process to a document that is inside of the notebook. You can go to that update and you can sync with Google Drive in order to provide your customer with the update. So we are delivering a customized learning experience from our NotebookLM notebook, our proprietary NotebookLM notebook updates through a Gemini Gem. Okay, so thanks, and I will see you in another video.